YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you week 5 of season 5 of the NPL. This week versus the San Antonio, wow, nailed it so far, San Antonio Swamperts. Now this team is headed by Dallas Boy 1992, but Dallas is taking a short hiatus, and instead our friend Dane is taking over for that period, trying to keep his team afloat. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about standings and everything before we get into the team building session. So standings wise, I am currently number 2 in my division. Now this is a very significant battle. As you can tell, we are both in the same division fighting for that number 1 position. Whoever wins this guaranteed gets the number 1 spot in our division. And if I get a 2-0 victory, I will have a higher differential than him as well. But obviously, win and loss is much more important. And since this is a division battle, it just makes that much more magical, really. As for the rest of the conference, it's interesting because a lot of people are in the hunt for getting the top 4 positions. St. Louis is doing beautifully. We're struggling for who the next 3 are going to be, because it's going to be me or San Antonio that's going to have number 1 according to this current ranking. Obviously, there's still plenty of room because San Antonio just faced the LA Nido Kings, so that's why that's kind of a big deal right there. And of course, I just faced the Sunfloras. So, yeah, going from here, basically, long story short, this is going to be a very significant battle, and we're going to see how this goes. Down here, it's also pretty interesting. This is basically a mimic of our division. And this is an even better version of the Dusk Division. So yeah, it's very interesting. Also, I might as well show you the playoff picture. So this is, according to the stats we have now, only 4 weeks in, this is what it looks like. So the best team overall gets to face the worst team, and then second faces 7th, third faces 6th, and fourth faces 5th. So yeah, this is how it looks as of now. Long story short, I'm basically fighting for this position right here, most likely. We'll see how this all turns out. But yeah, right now I'm number 10 on outside looking in, so I'm not guaranteed in. Then again, no one's guaranteed in currently. But that's what we're fighting for, and that's what we're going to do today. So we are facing the San Antonio Swamperts with a very interesting team. We're going to go back to the overview here, so I can explain why it's very interesting. So just looking at his team, there's just a lot of really random stuff in my opinion. So there's Megalopony, and that's fine. Okay, that's a main threat that I'm going to be looking for. He's got Alakazam. He's got Roserade. Then he's got Heliolisk and Suicune. And I think those 5 are going to be pretty significant in how I handle his team. Tyrantrum even is going to throw a little bit of... He's going to throw, what do you call it when you throw it in the gears? You throw a pipe in the gears? I don't know. It's a phrase, okay? But the point is, I'm speaking in regards to Talonflame too, for just like Brave Bird spamming. But let's just start throwing stuff together. So, one thing for sure, I see Talonflame doing some magical stuff this game. What kind of set? Nobody knows yet. However, I am thinking with my Tyranitar, so that I probably want to do, I want to do Choppleberry T-Tar. Now, there's a number of reasons why I want to do this, and I've just thought about it a little bit, and I think it's going to be pretty darn cool. So looking at his team, he has Megalopony, of course. There's no reason for him not to bring it. I have very few switch-ins to it, also, might I mention. Because it has Scrappy, my Sableye can't handle it. The only thing that can really handle it is Musharna. And I can't have that handle both Alakazam and Megalopony, just because those returns are going to hurt a lot. Sand's going to hurt it because I probably am going to run Sand. And yeah, so if I am to run Musharna, I just want to also run T-Tar, because that Focus Blast with Alakazam, plus like potential Shadow Balls and that kind of thing, that could get messy otherwise. So Yeah, so let's look at, let's say we're an OU support here. Let's just put those EVs versus an Alakazam. Let's say OU Life Orb for now. Focus Blast does 98 to 116. That's it? That's it? That's crazy. So like, with these kind of EVs, which I definitely don't need to put that investment, almost without Chople, I have a very good chance of living. So, or not a very good chance, I'm just saying it has a chance to not kill. But obviously when you put Chople on there, it's going to be another case. But let's put in Megalopony and Uber Offensive. What does that mean? Okay, so yeah, it has low kick. That's the difference. I don't know why, but if we put high jump kick, it does 169 to 200%. So obviously those are some crazy rolls going on. So what's kind of worth noting then, the problem is I could put good EVs into my T-Tar so I can guaranteed live a high jump kick. But if I do that, then I need to make sure that my T-Tar stays at a good amount of health. And by that, I mean basically perfect health. I mean, I could put, no, I can't even put leftovers because I'll have Choppleberry. You can run Superpower, and that's cool, but again, you got to be a little careful about this stuff. So for now, I think with Sandstream and all, I'm going to run Stealth Rock. Going to run Pursuit. Probably Pursuit. Also, he has Heliolisk, so that's going to be important to knock out. If he wants to Volt Switch, whatever. T-Wave might actually be really good on this thing. Here's the thing, I want Stealth Rock, I want Protect, I want T-Wave. Do you see my problem? I'm left with one move. Now I can run Dougie. I'm just a little scared for Dougie's sake. Gosh, so I need to figure that out for myself, I suppose. However, I was thinking Dougie for a number of reasons. It depends on whether he brings Claydol or Fortress. That's kind of a big thing. Because what I'm thinking is, if I want to be edgy, if I want to be super edgy, I could bring RU. We could say Naive for now. And I'm thinking we could run Hidden Power Fire. So Dougie's pretty good for a lot of his team. And unless he has Claydol, he doesn't have a switch into an EQ. Now, anyway, if he's to bring Fortress, I want to make sure I have decent investment to guarantee it to a KO. So let's do that. If we can get at least 50, he'll be at... Here's the thing, if we get 50, he gets leftovers recovery most likely. That's a bit problematic. However, it ranges all the way to 59. I mean, if we do 148, we're in a pretty good position. I just need to be careful. I need to make sure I have enough speed EVs to trap other things. So, we're going to experiment with those EVs a little bit. So it's running minus defense. What's going to be more valuable to me? Just in the case that I want to live something. Just in the case that I want to live something. I really think it's going to be more important to have defense because Gyro Ball plus Sucker Punch are going to be important things against like Houndoom, for example. Speaking of Houndoom, if he decides to bring it, I need to see how fast that thing gets. It gets pretty darn fast. 317. So I don't need to run plus speed. I don't. I could run this nature, whatever that is, rash nature. Didn't realize that's what it was. For plus attack minus SPDF. My dog is barking. I wonder why. Because I legit. Oh, well, I hear the car now. Anyway, so I am going to. If I'm to run rash, as I'm suggesting, I'm going to close the door here. I need to put an amount. Let's just put modest for the sake. No, let's be real. Put in the rash here. HP fire against his fortress does that much. Clearly, if we're to run that plus attack, we're not going to need that much. If we run 104 with rash, that will be enough. And that kind of works out fairly perfectly, because then that leaves us with some EVs to experiment with. I think the best thing to do in this case is to just put the rest in attack for perhaps. Wait a second. 317. What am I doing with my speed EVs here? 317. So I need 318. Okay, so back to this. It looks like we're halfway done here. Just need to figure out the sets for the rest of our stuff. I just like this team synergy in general. It's very nice. It's very nice. I really like Chapel Tutor. That's making me a wee bit happy here. So let's think about what we're guaranteed gonna put. We're gonna put Rapid Spin on our Blastoise, of course. It's gonna be a good time, really. I mean, I could run Scald, obviously. A lot of his team is very okay with Scald, actually. The thing is, I'm a little scared of Suicune if it gets to a certain spot where it's like it can just keep setting up to the point where I'm kind of debating roaring to having roar. At the same time, if I just run Mirror Coat, which I was thinking a little bit, that I'd be fine in that aspect, because I was thinking of running Mirror Coat again. Because it's good against Heliolisk, it's good against Roserade, if I live against Roserade. Suicune against +6 probably would live. Houndoom, yeah. So, because otherwise this Blastoise alone is not going to have great stuff against him. I think let me just start working on this set. Regarding Musharna, I think Lumberry is going to be the best set again. Which means I would run Moonlight versus running Rest, which I mean I could do like Resto Chesto or something. The reason I'm thinking that is if he burns me, I immediately get rid of that burn, and then I can keep going from there, and Moonlight is much more reliable recovery. And once Houndoom is out of the way, I am pretty clear for taking out a lot of his team. However, that does leave like Fortress. That's really the main thing that would be worrisome at that point that Musharna can't handle, because then there's Claydol too. But the most offensive threat would be Houndoom. So yeah, I'm kind of debating. Oh shoot, I just forgot he had Landers this whole time. Holy cow, I just noticed that. That is not good. Yeah, I need to consider that. I need to consider that a lot. It just gives me more incentive though to no, like I was just about to say running SPDF Blastoise, but clearly that's not going to be great. However, Spidef Talonflame probably does okay. Let's see. Landorus, Life Orb Attacker, why not? From VDC apparently. Sludge Bomb. Really? Okay. I mean, like, why not Sludge Wave? But it can run Rock Slide. That is the thing. But the point is Sludge Wave, which he can run Earth Power, Sludge Wave. It's been a while since I used it, but Focus Blast. And usually like Rock Polish or Psychic or something. That could be run, but the hardest thing that would hit me is a Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave. And that looks like it's doing diddly. So I'm okay with how my Talonflame is going to handle things. I just need to keep this thing alive. But anyway, as I was saying, this is more reliable recovery. I want to run Moonlight, Calm Mind, Psyshock, because that way it will 1v1 his Suicune if necessary. And it will. It may just need to. Now the last thing though is if I have one more coverage move. Also I need to put Synchronize, because Forewarn, the foes move with the highest power. That's just not gonna help me. If I really wanted to be edgy, I could run Healing Wish, but I don't think that is going to be particularly helpful. How well does defensive Musharna handle Landorus? I'm a little bit worried. Earth Power does 54 to 63. Yeah, that's a lot of damage that I need to be careful about. So I can't just bring it in and have a good time. Yeah, his Landorus is gonna be troublesome, because it can run rocks if he feels like it. I definitely see him running it. That's for sure. Probably running Scarf. Cure him. The more I think about it, because it's gonna outspeed his entire team, most likely, and we'll have a good time. Because what comes in to take an Ice Beam? We have Mawile and Fortress and Houndoom and Suicune. Fortress doesn't eat it up well. Mawile eats it up slightly better, but still. Houndoom is not going to eat it up well, and then Suicune is like, I could run Fusion Bolt, and I'm probably going to. But yeah, I'm going to be running a Scarf set again, but this time it's going to be a different Scarf set. So we're going to run Ice Beam. Probably going to run Earth Power. Definitely running Fusion Bolt. And yeah, just got to think about coverage here. Earth Power would be good against Mawile and Houndoom. Fusion Bolt's good against Suicune. Earth Power is good against Heliolisk. Ice Beam against Tyranitar, Roserade. And he does have a Fairy in Mawile, meaning he has something immune to Outrage. And then he also has a Steel type. I'm just thinking about, if I wanted to spam Outrage, could I? Or am I better off just going for Dragon Claw? I mean, I think there's going to be a point where I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to Outrage everything. I think that's going to be a situation, so. Now the situation is the attack power I'm going to need to start wiping things away. I want to guaranteed kill his Suicune with Fusion Bolt. Guaranteed to KO it. So UU Crocune, Fusion Bolt. That is max. And it's maybe a 2 KO if adamant. Huh. I'm not particularly worried if his Roserade ends up being like Scarf or something. The only thing I need to outspeed is Tyrantrum, I'd say. Because that's going to potentially be Scarf. And if Scarf Tyrantrum, I imagine, outspeeds Heliolisk, because it gets 71. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that outspeeds Dougie even. So, yeah, I need to have at least 265 speed. 266, actually. 266, there we go. And the rest we can put wherever we feel like. AKA, that's about it. So here's the thing. Do I get rid of defense more or SPDF more? I think defense might be less valuable considering the things I'd bring this in against. Yeah, a little scary though. I want to make sure though that Tyrantrum 265 times 1.5 that if it's Scarf that outspeeds Megalopony. So let's try it. 265 times 1.5. We have 397.5. Sounds like a radio station. Oh, it goes to 405. Okay. Okay, that is sonic speed. Holy fast. We need to make sure we outspeed that. So 405 times 0.67, 271. Probably gonna need 271. I'm probably going to get rid of some attack EVs. While it's not gonna be ideal, it'll put me in an okay position. 271 times 1.5 equals 406.5. That will be enough to speed creep the Megalopony with Scarf. Okay. So with the Scarf now, that means we're allowed to put in Adamant, not Adamant, but a plus attack or plus attack nature. Now what do we want to do? Fusion Bolt, if it's Adamant, gives at least reasonable chance to get rid of the Suicune. Debatably reasonable. It'll at least do a lot of work, barring it gets burned. But then it's like, what do we need Ice Beam for? Let's give it Naive just cuz, and go against Roserade. OU offensive. If we were to do Ice Beam, it'd do 87 to 101 if it had 32 investment. Currently, we have 96. So that does a lot of damage. After rocks, it dies guaranteed. So I'm thinking running plus attack minus something. I don't know what I want to run minus of. SPDF because of like Houndoom. I value SPDF more because of like Houndoom, but then defense more because of like Megalopony. But then special because Alakazam and Roserade. Ugh, the struggle is real, guys. At the end of the day, I think minus SPDF is... I really think I'm going to be taking more SPDF hits. That is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to put minus defense. When I put minus of a stat that is... Like when I have two options and I pick the one that has higher versus the other one, it makes me a little upset sometimes, but now they're basically equal actually, which is interesting. But yeah, this is the set I think I'm going to be going with here. Still have a couple of things to do with Musharna. We're at nearly 40 minutes with this. Holy shnikes. So now it's just about, I have Moonlight, I have Calm Mind, I have Psyshock. I'm going to be Calm Minded, I'm going to be sweeping stuff, and then like Houndoom's going to potentially try to stop me, and maybe Lander's going to try to stop me, And I just need to think, what move could I use that benefits me the most in that instance? And I think it's going to be Shadow Ball. It's going to be Shadow Ball like last week, I think. It'll do decent damage to Houndoom if I really need to. Like, I'm not going to run HP Ground because that's not going to do anything to anything other than Tyrantrum, which still not really worth it. So, I think Shadow Ball is going to be the name of the game. And if I keep it at max defense, it's going to give me a wall technically as well. Tyranitar is a pretty physical wall as well though. So is there any particular investment I care for? Other than that, like maybe I could run a little more Spadef because I don't want that Landorus or Alakazam smoking me. I really like this actually. Dark Pulse or Sphere Scald. Only thing is this doesn't work super well against his Roserade, but we have kind of things for Roserade. We have Talonflame, we have Kyurem, even Musharna. Yeah, this isn't exactly meant to handle Roserade. If I'm to run this. Aura Sphere is only good against Lopunny. I mean, it's also good against Heliolisk actually, because like dry skin, so definitely want to keep that. Is there really a reason to run Dark Pulse? Because like Alakazam is the only thing that cares about that versus like Scalding. I might just run, I think it might just be more worth running Ice Beam versus Dark Pulse. Because Aura Sphere still does the same amount to Suicune if I care to damage it in that fashion. So yeah, this is looking like the team right now. Only thing is if like I want to do defense versus Spadef, but I think I'm gonna run defense because of like handling the things that set up hazards, being Fortress and Claydol. Yeah, like Gyro versus potential Earthquake and Psyshock. I mean, they can be special in the sense of Volt Switch from Fortress and like Earth Power from Claydol, but I think it's worth it to keep it like this, especially with the physical threats that I might need to handle. So yeah, this looks like the team. I like how this wrapped up. This is very methodical, I believe. So yeah, this is probably what we're gonna do. I'm gonna test it and hopefully it all works out. So see you guys when we battle soon. Alright guys, here we go. Our week 5 battle for the NPL. And yeah, just making sure my EVs are all set up. I think it'll be jamming. I'm pretty stoked. Didn't really test this team out, so that's a thing. But I mean, using this in OU is not necessarily realistic anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that all my EVs were in check, all my moves and items were in check. And it looks like we are good there. So we did the GLHF, and here we go. Okay, so looking at his team, we got some stuff to chat about. I'm actually gonna link this to the bros. Alright, so let's freaking do this. He could definitely lead with Fori. I don't know if he would, but he could. Something else to note. I'm just wondering if it's even worth leading with Kyurem, and the reason I say that is I want to see like if he leads with Heliolisk, for example. I want to know if an Earth Power will kill with my investment. OU Choice Scarf. What am I? I'm a plus attack nature, but we got 96 there. Don't have Earth Power on this. And versus Heliolisk. I know Heliolisk has at least decent. yeah, has decent SPDF, so that's not gonna kill. He didn't bring Mawile, so I can technically freely outrage. However, I really could use Kyurem in the case that things get a little hectic with Suicune. So, oh, he didn't even bring Megalop. Holy balls. Just realized that. That's pretty big. However, I still can use this Chople for a couple of his things for sure. So, worth noting. What do I want to do? He could lead with Fori. So I'm like really debating just starting with Dougie. Alright, let's lead Dougie. Yes, okay, he starts with it. So this is nice because we can easily go for EQ and take him out. He SERPs me great if he happens to have freaking, what is it, Shed Shell, then fine, but I'm not falling for this. This man, I don't want this man lying to me. If he, whatever, we'll see. We'll see if he has it. But I'm gonna Earthquake. Got our sash intact, and he goes down. Thanks, man. I was worried that he was lying, saying that it was great, but then he ended up having Shed Shell. Ooh, this is very nice. Okay, yeah, this is exactly what I was planning for. Go for Hidden Power Fire. Did a nice bit of damage. Got our rocks up. Yeah, this is great. It's a really good situation for me. Oh, and he ends up dying. Wow. Look at Dougie doing exactly what I needed it to do. Wow. Only thing that becomes a little bit problematic here is I can get up rocks, sure. But then I need to start like really hitting this thing hard in a second. So I'm gonna get up my rocks, I suppose. Yeah, he just scalds me. That's great. Dougie did so much work. Holy crap. That was amazing. Really impressed with that amount of work that it did. So yeah, here I really think it's in my best interest to just bring in Blastoise, get the free Mega Evolution, go for the spin. If he Calm Minds, okay. But as of now, I need to get these rocks out of here because I just need to make sure. Need to make sure that I can handle this thing. So I don't know what he's going to do here, but I think it's in my best interest to just go into Kyurem directly and start Fusion Bolting. Fusion Bolt is going to do more than Outrage, and if he decides to bring in Landorus, I'm going to be in a bit of a situation, but remember I have SPDF Talon, and hopefully he doesn't have Rock Slide, but we don't know right now. So I'm going to go directly into Kyurem. We'll see what he decides to do. So he decides to... what is that move? Whatever it is, I resist it. So electric, grass. It could be either. It's probably grass though, because there's no reason. Either work. But even electric would almost make more sense because of Talon. I just want a Fusion Bolt here, get off a lot of damage, and that's 60% right there. Okay, and he has Roar. Cool, cool. That's nice. That's very nice indeed. I don't know what he's going to go for here. He's pretty free to Scald. Like, the only reason I'm worried about bringing in Kyurem is because of him potentially burning me. But that's the only reason. At the same time, it's not the worst thing in the world to have a burn because it can kind of Ice Beam spam at this point. So I'm going to bring it in again. This time I'll be free to Outrage if I want to. But yeah, he does get the burn. That sucks, but so yeah, that does suck. But at this point, I'm either free to Outrage. My darn dog is barking right now. I think I'll just Fusion Bolt again. Oh, get the crit. Okay. That's nice for me, certainly. Because that means he goes down, and then I can bring this thing in again to just Ice Beam spam. Okay, so thinking about this play, we've got options for sure. Really, this is the best thing Tyranitar can come into anyway. So I think we'll do it. Good. Okay, that's nice. So what we can do is we could T-Wave or Pursuit. Pursuit, because if he directly switches out to like Landorus, then obviously my T-Wave sucks. Now my Pursuit isn't particularly necessary anyway. I'm gonna Pursuit. Yeah, we got Chople. That does a lot, so he's Life Orb, I think. Oh no. So this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. This is actually really good because, I mean, even in the case that he did have a Sash, I mean, that did 67. Let's check out Landorus. Versus Tyranitar. I mean, then again, I don't have any SPDF investment. OU support. Let's say we have none here. Just put Adamant so to make sure there's no SPDF. Or wait, what am I doing? Alakazam. OU Life Orb. Focus Blast. Timid does that much. 67 times 2 is like 134. So yeah, that's within range of being Timid Life Orb. This is the only move he has for hurting my T-Tar, and I have no other use for T-Tar, so might as well Pursuit. Okay, he has Energy Ball. Could have risked going to the Talonflame, but I didn't feel it was worth it. But yeah, no reason to not go into it now. And just press Brave Bird. Only thing I'm worried about with this thing is if it has Rock Slide, which it certainly could. I think at this point Musharna is the most expendable mon on my team, so I'm going to go into it. Yeah, he does have the Rock Slide, so that's cool, that's fine. Here, probably should just Psyshock, I think. He has Rock Slide, so he might have some kind of investment. I'm pretty even defensively with this thing. The thing is, I don't think that crit on Suicune was too crucial because definitely could have finished it off with Kyurem. However, I would have lost Kyurem and then would have to think of another route of doing things. However, I do have Ice Beam on Blastoise, right? Yes. So it wouldn't have been too bad, I think. Because then I could have brought in Musharna. I'm Lumberry, so he couldn't have Sleep Powdered me with Roserade, would have killed him with Psyshock. Obviously still unfortunate, just from a mindset kind of view. But, Landorus, let's say we just put this set, does 20 and 24, and it did 21. So that means Earth Power, is definitely possible to do a lot to me right now. I'm 128. So let's put that in real quick. Earth power is going to likely to KO me. So yeah, I'm just going to press Psyshock. He decides to bring in Roserade. Is he Scarf? Is he Scarf? I doubt it. However, I don't want to risk anything. Really don't want to risk anything. Yeah, he just decides to Rock Slide again. And since he has... so he did that because... this won't guarantee kill, so I need to Moonlight again. This, I guess he's Scarf. He must be Scarf. I Moonlighted just because I want to get the highest differential possible. So yeah, that was my talk there. GG, man. And we end up getting a higher roll this time. So pretty sure we don't have... thanks, man. Let's see. So I don't think I had any investment on this Musharna. Yeah, no investment. And Psyshock does 31 to 36. How much did it do? It did 39. So is he like... I mean, he has to be a minus defense or minus SPDF nature. Because, so it must be, he must be minus defense. Because, otherwise, Musharna would not have done that much with the Psyshock. However, I do want to know what that nature is, just because I'm interested, and this was a relatively short battle. Minus defense, potentially hasty nature, then. No hasty. So then Psyshock would have done 34 to 41. So I got fairly average rolls, honestly. Okay, that makes a lot more sense then. But yeah, thankfully Musharna is super bulky. I mean, Blastoise could have handled the same situation, but Musharna was good for either way, whether he wanted to care for differential or not, but that's telling me he was Scarf. Couldn't really tell what his Heliolisk was because it died, but it didn't show Life Orb. But it wasn't Shuka either, and it apparently was not Shed Shell, otherwise it would have switched out. Fortress was perfect because we got to use a Hidden Power Fire, and the rolls were just correct where it ended up killing him. He brought in Suicune right after that, which allowed me to get up my rocks, and he just killed me off. He was not Crocune set, so I wasn't particularly worried, and then I could freely go into my Kyurem Fusion Bolt. Unfortunately get burned, but ended up not mattering all too much as we got that crit. But he was +1 and I was at 33, so I would have taken probably an extra 18%. Actually I would have been at 6% now that I think about it. Either way, I'm pretty sure I would have survived either way. Either way, I'm redundantly redundant. But I didn't need to bring it in anyway because we found out later anyway that Landorus was Scarf. So yeah, that ended up working out. Solid 4-0, which I believe puts me in positive differential now, and now puts me at number 1 in our division, which is really cool. Actually. Let me check this out here. I doubt that things are updated yet, but yeah, this will give me 3 and 2, and San Antonio will be 2 and 3. I will be at a 2 differential, he will be at -3, and so depending on how LA Nidokings will do, it's San Antonio and Los Angeles that are competing for that 2nd and 3rd position. So awesome turnout this week for sure. I'm pretty stoked, especially since I didn't get to test this team out too much, but I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later. Peace.